How's it going? I know you guys probably thought I was dead, but I have returned. I'm not dead. Been busy, a lot of things going on. Um, so I just took a class in the summertime, and it kind of motivated me to do something. I had to do a final presentation. It was a tech com class. Final presentation. I was limited to 3.5 minutes. A little too tight. I mean, God, the worst product I have is not that bad. Oh my goodness. Well, it worked out good. I got an A for the class, so I'm pretty happy about it. So, my premise is this: I feel that vocational training or education it's for everybody. Okay, not just people that are tech and trades, but for people that are maybe going to go to college and give it a whirl. So I'm not going to have too much data, but I'm just going to tell you a story. It's just a story about me and my brother. Okay, so we come from a decade long ago, back when disco was king. Okay, so my brother, I love him to death. He sucks at math, not good at writing, not good at reading. You know, so he got labeled. They put him in the resource room, learning difficulties, all that kind of good, all that stuff, right? I could destroy in math. I could read fast, but that didn't mean I could comprehend everything. And I sucked at grammar too. But yet I was put in the gifted program, so did that. Um, I did that for the first like 5 years in grade school. Was really good. Middle school was really good. My brother, they consolidated all the special ed students, so they all got put into one school. So I never got to see my brother in school, except for one year. I was in the sixth grade, he was in the eighth grade, and it's a fun story because we were shoving each other in the line. Some guy came up, it was in my class, started mouthing off my brother. My brother kind of gave him a warning, and he kept mouthing off. My brother knocked him out. And I'm like, hey, that was really good, bro. And then we got suspended, but that was a fun time, right? And then we did 2 years of high school together because he was 2 years ahead of me. So he got to do something called VOTEC, Vocational Technical High School. Go for half a day, okay? So he went in the afternoon program. I think like most people I know, I had friends that were doing VOTEC as well. Everybody in my family actually has done VOTEC except for me. I am the black sheep of not going to VOTEC, and I'm that kind of sucks. I'm pissed off about that, and I'm going to tell you why. So, being good at math, you get put in the gifted program, and all of a sudden you get these gifted classes. So I get to high school, gifted English. What the hell is that about? So I suck at grammar and reading, but you're going to put me in gifted English. Like, what? What? How does being gifted and good at math? I don't know. And then the other one was gifted social studies. I don't know how learning history is different if you're gifted or honors or normal class. I mean, history is history. It's kind of black and white, you know? So, at any rate, as I digress. So, my brother went, graduated high school, early 90s, got a job, pretty much has been working since. I went to college my first semester, and I watched out because I didn't know shit about shit. Okay, it's a true story. So I started taking classes part time in my early 20s. I started working at a manufacturing plant where my brother worked. I had to take an aptitude test to get in, and I did well enough that I got hired. So I did part sorting, started learning some industrial stuff, running machinery. I couldn't whip out a book to figure some things out, so I had to do things by hand. I had to start like feeling things, seeing things, touching things, smelling things. Yeah, I know you're laughing, smelling things. Yeah, you do enough electrical work. Yeah, you know what I'm going to get at. So I worked my way back up. I figured out that I wanted to do engineering at that point. Maybe when I was like about 24, I figured it out. Then company I worked for, the tuition assistant got cut. I was going for free, which was really awesome, and I was doing pretty well. So that got cut, and then a little bit after, there was bunch of cowardly pussies took some planes and they hit some buildings. Kind of pissed me off and a lot of other people. So a bunch of us we enlisted, um, and I became an electrician. I picked up my trade in the Navy. Did that for a number of years. Then I decided to go back to school in my 30s, and then I graduated in my late 30s, and now here I am. So I'm a little angry at the education system. Yes, it is my job to do work for classes that I'm in for high school, but I just didn't give a shit. How do you motivate somebody who doesn't give a freaking shit? You know what I mean? I don't know if it's because I was bored or I just didn't give a crap. I think it's more I just didn't give a shit. I was fine doing math. Um, I took Latin for 4 years, like German for 1 year when I was a junior. So I had Latin 3, German 1 back to back classes, third and fourth period. That was wild. That was fun. But I did really well with Latin because it was all patterns and whatnot. So they would teach some of those more like how do we think, how do we develop the way we think in those gifted classes going up to the eighth grade. Really useful. When we get to high school, what are we doing, right? So I didn't have a clue because when I was in high school, all they did is like you got to go to college. They would just push college, 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 college. If you don't do college, you're a failure and you're never going to amount to a damn thing in your life. I know so many freaking people who didn't go to college, okay, and they make a freaking shitload of money because they went to Votech and I learned a trade. They got to work right after high school, just like my brother did. They didn't have to pay any student loans, you know. I would have loved to have had that opportunity. Sure, if I knew I could go to Votech, I would do that, but I was in the academic track in high school, you know? So I had nothing to fall back on. I had 4 years wandering in the freaking desert, working a freaking shit freaking job, and, you know, it took me some time to figure it all out. I would have liked to have that maybe a little bit of motivation or a little bit of inspiration when I was in high school, But instead, hey, let's send people off to college where they can get a degree in basket weaving. It's like, hey, I got my 4 year degree in basket weaving. And then the player's like, yeah, but you got no freaking skills. Bye. Sad but true sometimes. Here's a really good one for you. So I looked at some stats. I can link it in the description once I upload this, whether that is today, which is Tuesday night for me, or maybe it's tomorrow. But it's a cross section of education levels attained in the greater Philadelphia area where I live. So it started always up at like doctoral, went down to like master's, batch, associates, some college, high school GED, whatnot. And so I looked at the percentage of people in our area that, have a bachelor's or associates or did some school. And then I took those numbers specifically, and I took the percentages of people who went to school, how many had a bachelor's degree. It was only 46%. 46 freaking percent. Less than half. Your success in getting a 4 year degree when you decide, hey, I'm going to go to school, is less than a freaking fair coin toss. Oh my god, you gotta be kidding me. And like, what skills are you getting when you're in, except for a major? You gotta hope you pick a good major. If you don't do that, you're screwed. And all you're gonna do is you're gonna have like this, gonna have all this student loan debt if you didn't have, if you weren't better off than some people, right? Oh my goodness. If you had Votech and you made that mandatory, everybody could pick up a couple skills. I personally would have loved it. I think it would have been great. But people look down on that, oh, well, you didn't go to college, or, God forbid they look down on my father who had to get a GED, He didn't finish high school, he got kicked out of high school. And you know what? My dad was a pretty freaking smart guy. You know what? He had his skills. And you know what? My brother has a shitload of skills too. So how different is my brother from me? Now, at this day, fast forward a whole shitload of years. Okay, I became a tradesperson. I enjoyed it. It's a big part of my life. It's a big part of who I am. It makes me a better engineer by far. I know a lot of people who were served in the military that were enlisted with me have gotten their engineering degrees in different disciplines. It makes them better at what they do. You know, it's an advantage. My little cousin is a nursing major, and she's working on her associates. But she recently decided, hey, you know what? I'm going to do EMT school because it's going to make me a better nurse. Well, you're damn straight it's going to make you a better nurse. You know? And she's a smart girl. Didn't take the SAT, which the SAT is the biggest piece of shit I've ever had to endure. Besides all that stupid ass standardized tests that we had to do every year, grade school. You know what? A Baloo is a bear. Nobody gives a flying shit about a Baloo. Have you ever heard the word Baloo used other than that first introductory part of that test? No, you did not. Maybe for an English major, I don't know. I don't know. Can't speak for the English majors out there. But nobody gives a shit what a freaking Baloo is. We care about the Bears. It's not the Chicago Blues. It's the Chicago Bears. It's not Bears. Alright, let me calm myself a little bit here. So, vocational training should be a part of every high school student's day. Maybe if it's just like 2 class periods, not like a full like half day program. Maybe it's just a quarter day program. Better than nothing, right? You got some skills. If you're an engineer, you want to be an engineer, go to college. That's great. Do that. But it kind of makes sense to me that, you could have like engineering students doing like a VOTech thing. I mean, yeah, you got electives that you got to take, but does anybody give a flying crap about CP biology or CP chemistry? No. I mean, that didn't help me. That didn't help me do anything. So yeah. I mean, the SAT, it's horrible. The ASVAB, the aptitude test for the military. And I had to take a similar test to get into that first company I worked for with my brother. That's a great test. That should be a part of every student should have to take something like that just to see where your aptitude lies. Maybe you have abilities that you don't know you have. Now, growing up, I didn't do anything like, I didn't fix bicycles, My brother did. I didn't care about car engines. My brother did, Nowadays, I have a supreme respect level for a car engine, but more based on the thermodynamic side. But, so skills are skills. Now, he learns differently. That's okay. I learn differently than some people too. I teach tech and trades, and one thing I've been doing this for my 5th year. I try to gauge, do my students understand the concepts based on, they don't just have to do it, mathematically. If they can do it, by physical demonstration in the lab, they're showing me they understand what's going on. It's as simple as that. So, less SAT, less standardized scores, nobody gives a shit. More vocational stuff. Let's not make vocational such a damn bad word like it was in the 90s. Oh, you're not going to mount anything. Oh my God, I know so many successful people that went to Votech. So that's the extended cut of the presentation I gave. You guys don't get the benefit of slides, but I don't like slides anyway, so you're not really missing out. So, but that's the extended version. And when I get done my master's, which should be by the end of next year, I'm going to be coming for that PhD. And I might just do engineering education. And if I do, school system, I am coming for your freaking ass. Lock and load. It's going to be on. It's going to be freaking on. So, that being said, I'm not dead. I'm back. I'm alive. I'll do some more of this stuff a little bit later, as things go. But yeah, so this one's out to my classmates from the summertime. A lot of fun. Hope you guys enjoy this. And I'll talk to you guys when I see you. And some of you guys I will physically see. So, peace out, homies.